Scott, big fight night headlined by the unification bout in the welterweight division. How great is it for you to bring a fight like that to Ireland?
Yeah, this is the first time we've had Amosov back since he left the war zone. This is something that, it's very important for us, but also I think he wants to send a message to the world that, he's here fighting for Ukraine, and there's still a situation over there. And he was torn about really leaving, but he made a decision with his family to get out of the war zone and go to America and train and go to American Top Team and train with all the guys at Dan Lambert's gym. And he's here now. I think this is a important moment in the history of our company. I mean, this is something that's very unique. It's never happened before in my 37 years of being in the fight promotion business. And if you saw that video that they made of the feature piece of Amosov, it's really special. And so please, if you get a chance to watch it, it's amazing.
The fight itself, I asked Yaroslav yesterday if he wins it, is he the best welterweight in the world? And there's a few divisions in Bellator at the moment where you could argue that they are, regardless of promotion, the best.
Do you think Amosov or Storley if they win?
Yeah, listen, I think that starting at 205, I think we got the best 205er on the planet, and I think we got a deep division there. 185, Johnny Evelyn, I think he's the best in the world at 185. And that even, Dan Lambert said the same thing to me. He's the best 185-pounder on the planet. So, this is not just me speaking. This is a consensus among all the top gym owners, all the managers. You talk to people that know this business at 170. I think both these guys are number one, number two, and I think the UFC champ's number three until something happens. I mean, we'll see. But when you talk about the amount of depth of talent that we have at Bellator right now, it's impressive. I mean, it's taken a long time to get here. But now we have a roster that just can really do a lot of damage all over the world. So I'm really proud of it, and proud of my guys that help us put the roster together. And here we get to go. Now we get to watch all these great fights happen. So if you remember that first fight, it was amazing. That first fight they had a couple years back. Wow. And that was in a venue where COVID was still very active, and we were shut down. It was a closed environment. There was no fans allowed. I remember just the feeling of being a little bit, weird feeling because there's no fans, no cheering. But these guys fought their hearts out, and now they get to rewind it with a big fans, probably the best fans in the world here cheering for them. I think it's going to be amazing.
You mentioned Irish fans there, and I think there was a little bit of disappointment with the card in that, James Gallagher wasn't on the card. He was on another card in America, Liam McCourt, biggest fight for a career, not on this card as well. Obviously Peter Queally had the big fights, but not as big a fight this time. What was your kind of reaction to some of that reaction from the Irish fans?
Well, listen, timing is the key, right? Because we can't put everybody on the card when, they would want to be on a fight card. They have to fit in the rotation, and we're managing 250 athletes and doing let's say 18 fights a year. So it's just a matter of timing of when they fit into the rotation. And I think Leah's got a great fight coming up at Pechanga. I think Queally's got a great fight ahead, and we'll be back. So we'll mix it up again in September.
Is there any update on James? Obviously, his fight fell out, but we didn't really get an update on what happened. Is there any update on him if that fight will be rescheduled?
Yeah, I think James pulled out of the fight, and the exact decision why I'm not really sure, but I think it was something to do with a medical situation. So I think it was an injury involved. So hopefully he'll get better and he'll come back and be as strong as ever.
Is there any update at heavyweight? Obviously, we had the Ryan Bader fight against Fedor, and he won that. Then the same night, maybe number one contender fight that ended up being a draw with Steve Mowry in that fight. Is there any kind of inclination of who's going to be next at heavyweight?
I mean, listen, we have a very good heavyweight division, and I'm looking forward to seeing Moldavsky fight in San Jose, and then we're just going to mix it up and go back to the drawing board and put together the best fights in the weight class that we can. So Ryan Bader probably won't fight till the end of the year, but we'll have somebody really good for him by then.
Any update on some of the free agents? Any talks with Francis Ngannou or Nathan Diaz or anyone like that?
Yeah, listen, it's a very fluid situation, and we're in talks with both of them, and let's see what happens.
If you were to sign someone, say like Francis Ngannou, who turned down, by all accounts, a $7 million contract with the UFC, could you go back to pay-per-view with a fighter like that, or is pay-per-view something that's in the past for Bellator?
I know that from my perspective, when you talk about signing him to Bellator, we're also talking about having a conversation with him and Steven, which happened earlier this week, about getting you into Showtime pay-per-view boxing too. So I think we have a great company to offer him both sides of the combat sports business that he would like to, which is fighting MMA and also box. I think we're a great fit, and so there's ongoing discussions. So we'll see what happens.
Deontay Wilder was mentioning that he wouldn't mind having an MMA fight, maybe a 2-fight deal. Would you like to have the?
Absolutely. Yeah, give him my number and have him call me.
You spoke about the situation with Amosov and Logan. Do you think it will be difficult for Logan to take that fight like as he would with anyone else? Because I mean, Amosov's just come back from war.
Yeah, I think that Logan Storley is in shape. He's ready to go. He had a great camp. I know they brought Crazy Bob in to help the camp, run off the camp, and they've spent a lot of time in Florida for the last eight weeks. So they put together an amazing group of people to get him ready. He's ready. He's not going to be sidetracked by any of the, let's say, any other story that Amosov has bringing into this fight. So I think it's hard not to look at what Amosov has gone through, but I can tell you this: Logan's here to win. And if you watch that first fight, it was very close, and I'm expecting a 5-round amazing fight. So to me, that's what we're expecting, and I think that both these guys are in great shape. I mean, look at them; they're ready to go, man. It's going to be exciting.
Is there any question?
And Patricio, is the Jeremy Kennedy Pedro Carvalho fight going to be the number one contender fight, or is there someone in mind for the 145-pound title?
Yeah, you know what? That's something that we're going to probably take a look back sometime next week and look at all the different weight classes that we're still matching. But we have some really exciting fights to announce next week and the week after. And so just be patient, and we'll get back to you.
Come on, you surely have one for us now.
I have a question for you. Is Jackson going to sign with the Ravens? That's what I want to know.
It's just a teacher.
Just a question about the women's featherweight division. Chris Cyborg seemed to come out and say that she was maybe expecting to fight either Kat Zingano or Leah McCord in Dublin. When do you think what will be the next fight? Is it a case that McCord versus Zingano is for the number one contendership? Obviously, we've got.
It has to be. It has to be. That has to be the number one contender. I mean, we've been waiting for Kat to, fight Chris for a long time, but now she's fighting Leah. Whoever wins, I think, will be a natural fit to fight Chris. And we're still going through some contractual stuff with Chris. We hope to have that finished, in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go back, give Ray a call when I get back from Dublin. But it's something that I think that we're very much going to be committed to having her fight sometime in late summer.
If Leah McCourt wins that fight against Zingano, would you foresee that title fight being in Dublin?
Sure, why not? Why not? That'd be amazing. It's something that the fans here are unlike any place else in the world, and I think that they would love Chris here. I think it would be an amazing fight. Maybe we'll take it to Brazil. Who knows? There's a lot of good opportunity in Brazil as well. So, we haven't identified a location, but we have. I always like to take a look at what the fight and what it looks like, and then shuffle the deck, and then go from there.
Yeah, just a couple more questions on the Irish side. These events have been fantastic for the SPG guys. A whole heap of them here today, as always. There's a great relationship between Bellator and SPG. Do you foresee maybe opening that up to other gyms in the country as well? Any other fighters from different gyms fighting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, listen, if you're a top fighter and you're a blue chip prospect, we will find you or give us a call. So there's going to be opportunity for a lot of different, gyms to participate. It's not just going to be one gym. I mean, anywhere we travel in the world, it's, we're I think pretty open to having the best fighters in that region come and compete. And really, I love it because we always find like a diamond in the rough somewhere when we're traveling on the road.
Brian Moore is fighting Luke Iovine tomorrow night. He's been calling for a fight with Leandro Higo for a long, long time now. Obviously, James got that fight, but it fell through. If Brian wins this fight, will he finally get the Higo fight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to rebook Higo, but like I said, when we get back to San Jose, we'll figure it out and book Higo, and let's see what happens tomorrow night. Because to me, I like to see what the fight looks like, and let's see how they both perform. And maybe they both look great. Maybe one looks great. Or maybe, it really depends on what happens with the fight tomorrow night.
It's Brian has put on some great performances, but the finish has eluded him for the last little while. Is it that finish that he needs to kind of really, assert himself?
I'll tell you, that would be great. But really, in this business, you just got to keep winning, and you'll eventually get your shot.